Hello, and welcome back to the Park After Dark. This is episode 5, and we have a nice special one planned for you today. As you can see, I am joined by two phenomenal guests to have this conversation with. Up in the top right, Mr. Theme Park Brandon, our good buddy, and down below, Adventures with Parker, one of the most underrated channels for parks and coasters, in my opinion, on
And just a
YouTube.
great person, honestly.
Oh,
Yeah,
thank you.
that can't be overstated, especially in a day and age, Brandon Parker, where let's just say not everybody is nice. You know, not everybody is taking the first step forward with a good positive hand and vibe. So it's awesome to see other channels live that and preach that, and that's for me at least. That's what it's about: a safe space for family, and just a good time. And speaking of that, every year, um, it seems as though the Golden Ticket Awards, they raise a little bit of controversy due to who wins, and obviously over the last 30 or 40 years, they've played a little bit of favoritism, if you will, to the park that is hosting. Unless your name is Kennywood, then really you're kind of burned. Kind of burned. But I get it. Trust me, and they get it too. But we love hosting. This last year, we had that opportunity to be able to host, and got to spend a little bit of time with one of the legends of the game, Mr. Don Helbig, who was going to be invited to be on this show with us today. But this is going to be the second year that Don actually has a vote. So, due to conflict of interest, I didn't even want to present that. I didn't even want to ask for him to come on and join, because as a voter, it would be very taboo to come on and comment about awards and what have you. So I figured if I can't have Dawn, why don't I get some of my friends, some of the people that know these rides just as well, if not better, and let's try to take a guess.
We're
What's going to
chopped
win in
liver.
2025?
We're the scraps. I get it now. It all comes together now.
Yeah, well, I mean, now that you've picked up on that, I feel like we can just move right forward.
Hey, Parker, just to let you know, we're both getting paid $1,000 for this, right? Just want to make sure that you are getting paid that much money too, right?
Yeah, you guys.
In USD or CAD, because that makes a difference.
It does. It does. And I'll be honest, when I hit it in QuickBooks, like to have them auto print your guys' checks, I just click the Oprah money button. You guys are both getting Oprah money today.
Perfect.
So, Parker, have you ever had an opportunity to be able to go and attend one of the Golden Ticket Awards?
No, I haven't actually. I've always wanted to, but yeah, never had the opportunity.
Brandon, how about you, buddy?
No, I have not actually. It's been one of those things of like Parker never really had the opportunity, nor like based off my schedule, if being there at the right time for it at that particular park.
Right.
I've
Well,
always been intrigued by the awards, and I always follow it, every single year and stuff, and seeing what the winners are. But I've never been to actually the award ceremony, the event itself.
well, we're going to have a rare opportunity because once we make some predictions, I happen to know that 2025 is going to make it possible for us to, or at least, me to travel down. We're going to see how many we get right live because 2025, it is being held at Carowinds, which,
Is it really?
if I'm not,
I didn't even know that.
if I'm not mistaken, is
I believe
Brandon's home park.
that is.
So, that being said, I figured this was a tremendous opportunity for us to make some guesses, see if we get them right. And Parker, maybe 2025 is the year that you finally head to a Golden Ticket Awards.
I mean, hey, I'm due to go back to Carowinds, so
Yeah, I know.
we'll see what happens.
When I came, I rode it with you and Quentin and his girlfriend and the other girl, right?
Yeah, with Cody. Yeah.
Yeah. Everyone's doing okay. That Cody's doing okay and everything.
Yeah, she's doing great.
Oh, perfect. And I keep in touch with Quentin and his future wife. So that was fun. I had like an hour time and I left. I forget what I was doing. I was doing some chores at home and I was like, I got to go meet these people from Canada to get on ferry with them. So I ran up there and met them for a little bit and rode the ride a couple of times. And it was great.
Yeah, no,
That's
that was a
awesome.
really good day. I got to ride Fury for the first time with you, so yeah, I definitely got to go back though.
100%.
Yeah, and Parker, I'm really gonna lean on you heavily in 2025 because I need to live vicariously through you in Canada, thanks to my disagreements of policy with Prime Minister Justin Trudeau and his
Huh?
decision to prevent me from entering the country due to transitioning money to people that drive trucks for a living. So me and Justo, we're not exactly, we're not exactly tight. So unless he leaves office, I don't think I'm
Well,
ever going to get to ride anything in Canada's Wonderland, especially the brand new one.
well, listen, not to be too political, but no one really likes Justin up here, and we are having an election next year, so he's going to be gone. And who's to say who's going to replace him? Because here in Canada, we have a multi-party system, so it's really anyone's
Yeah.
game. You might be in luck. We'll see what goes on. But I think Justin's going to be leaving soon.
Yeah, I mean, worst case scenario, I just really bank that this podcast takes off and they give me media credentials. I mean, look at all the other hacks and bums that they let into that country. So, yeah, it's
Hey, I
I
was
am.
born here. I didn't come in.
Yeah, well, no, you're authentic. You're like, I'm pretty sure if somebody cut you on the arm right now, you would bleed maple syrup, and that's awesome. That is awesome.
I've never been to Canada, so I've already worked it out. So when I come, I'm letting him know and Quentin know.
Well, ironically, I spent a lot of time in Canada. I had spent a lot of time in Toronto, but these were years where I was focusing more on my career opposed to focusing on, building a family or going to ride coasters. And it was always very, very pointed reasons why I was there. And then a return back. I used to spend a lot of time in Windsor, across from Detroit, too much time in Windsor. And now that I want to go back, I can't. So I guess it's just kind of how it works.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So with the park being held at Carowinds, Brandon, what do you think the odds are? Well, obviously, we know that Carowinds is going to win something. The question is, what are they going to end up winning?
They'll probably just give Fury the best steel coaster award again, even though it's not. It's not going to win. It's not going to win Park of the Year. It's not going to win best food, best entertainment, best. They could get best kids area though, because their new kids area, they're going to be adding that new,
They
launch
could.
coaster. Yep, launch coaster that Canada's Wonderland just built. Snoopy's Racing Railway. Sorry, I have not felt good all day. So that's
Snoopy's Racing Railway.
So that plus the little mock splash battle attraction. They're supposed to get the train to come back this year for the kid area and retheme, but that's not happening. Camp Snoopy's is a really decent kid area. Like our kids love it, but I just don't know if I can have two new or the new coaster, a new water ride.
My dogs are going crazy. I apologize.
You're good, and classify it as the best kids area over like Kings Island or Dollywood. But knowing the golden tickets and how they work things, I'm sure that it's either that or Fury.
Yeah, I can't. Parker, is there any chance that they end up taking Best Steel Coaster away from Fury the year that it's being held at Carowinds?
I don't think so. I was thinking about this too because I mean, until you said that it was going to be hosted at Carowinds, I thought another coaster might take the place, but now that I know
next year,
it's going to be Fury.
Iron Gwazi, Steel Vengeance, Air Force One, Velocicoaster. I mean, I can go on. I love Fury. Don't get me. It's my fifth favorite. I love it. But out of the entire world of coasters, all of the great steel coasters. I mean, come on now.
Yeah, I do like what you said about how it might be a runner-up for the best kids area, though. Like, I don't think it's quite deserving of that, but with the new additions, I mean, I guess it enters the conversation at the very least.
I will say this: it's a better looking kids area and has a better look and feel to it than Kings Island does.
I was going to say, like it's a very nice vibe being in there, and they really lean into that Camp Snoopy theme.
Oh yeah, they do a great job with that, but it'll be interesting. I mean, we'll see.
So, if we know that Fury is almost assuredly going to keep its crown there, and we know that Carowinds is not going to win Best Park, which parks do you think are most likely up for that award? And now, as a little side note, last night's episode, I went through and I gave my top 10 parks of 2024. And really quickly, I will run those down for you guys as well. Maybe you have a little bit of feedback. But at 10 this year, I had King's Dominion. At number 9, I had Holiday World. At number 8, I had Busch Gardens Tampa. At number 7, I had Hershey Park. At number 6, I had Kings Island. At number 5, I had I don't have the list in front of me, and now I think I'm forgetting one. Ugh. Number 5 would have been SeaWorld San Antonio, then the 2 Universal parks, and finally finishing up with the last 2 of Silver Dollar City and
Dollywood?
No, Dollywood was actually the one that I couldn't remember, but that's an excellent guess. Silver Dollar City was number 2. Number 1 this year for me was actually Busch Gardens Williamsburg. I thought that this year in particular, they had a great operating season. There wasn't too much downtime for Pantheon this year. They had a pretty smooth season. And the park is beautiful. It's really well maintained. And for me this year, that is the place that I would rather be than anywhere else this season. And I don't know if it's the fullness, the completeness of the ride lineup now. You know, even though their additions beyond Pantheon haven't been home run hitters, they've all been very necessary. Dark Coaster, I think, ended up being a home run. That always has a huge line. I wish it were a little more reliable, but I mean, everything that they're doing there, the Loch Ness Monster, project, they're doing the right things, and I think that the park audience and the season pass holders are responding in kind, from their efforts, because it's appreciated. So who do you guys think has the best chance this year for Park of the Year? Will it even be in the United States?
I was gonna say, wasn't it Europa Park last year?
It was.
Yeah. I mean, for me, like, the park that should be crowned as the best in the world should be one that has a good balance of everything, like some good thrill rides, some good family attractions, rides that are or rides and areas that are immersive and tell a story. So you kind of need to be pulling on all of these elements: good food, good reliability.
Yeah.
And I mean, I've never been to Europa Park myself, but I know it has a very strong reputation, and it's probably the park at the top of my own bucket list. So I can definitely see it going back to them. But other parks that come to mind that kind of complete that that idea of what a good park can be is like Dollywood, Silver Dollar City. Those are 2 of my favorites. I've never been to Busch Gardens Williamsburg, but I think you make a strong case for that as well. So yeah,
It's just such a beautiful place to be. They have great natural shade. They don't. This is my favorite thing about Busch Gardens Williamsburg. They're the only park in the chain that doesn't do the separately ticketed event crap. Once you're in for the day there, you are in for the day. They are not kicking you out and expecting more money. The customer service there is significantly better than Busch Gardens Tampa. Again, significantly. So it's, what do you enjoy? And like SeaWorld was really high on my list as well, because we enjoy the animals, whether it's just Kristen and myself, or if one of our daughters is with us, we all enjoy that stuff. So it keeps it fresh, keeps it immersive. And obviously, Universal gonna just wreck everything in 2025.
I was gonna say, I forgot about Epic Universe. I feel like
So
it could go to there as well.
I have a feeling that you can't really deny Epic Universe. I think it's obviously going to win as long as it opens on time.
Yeah.
And, all things indicate that it will. But as far as the best wooden roller coaster in the world, this is I got to be honest. This one sometimes keeps me up at night in the summer. After I ride great wooden roller coasters, I will just wake up in a cold sweat and what in the hell is going on? And how in the hell do people think that Phoenix is better than Thunderhead? Or fill in that scenario with like 7 or 8 other Woodies across the country. But, you know, is Phoenix going to win again? Does it deserve to win again? Who would you consider as a replacement?
I love Phoenix. It's a great ride, but it doesn't deserve to
I
be
do
number
too.
1, in my opinion. Like it's time to pick something different. I mean, for me, I've always thought even like Ravine Flyer 2 at Waldameer has been a top contender. I think that's my
Great
personal
ride.
favorite wooden coaster. But even like rides like El Toro, Voyage, those are rides that enthusiasts commonly cite as their favorites for Woodies. So I'm surprised none of those get the top spot either. But yeah, Phoenix needs, like, I love it, but it needs to go further down the list.
Parker, my appreciation and love for you just skyrocketed after you gave credit to Ravine Flyer 2. I mean,
I love that ride.
the channel is called the Pennsylvania Roller Coaster Club for a reason. You know, we love to highlight all of the amazing rides and coasters and parks out of the state, and Ravine Flyer 2 is a pretty damn good ride. Going over the road like that,
airtime on
crazy.
it, it's amazing. Like I liken it
Yeah.
to the wooden version of Sky Rush. It gives those same kind of feelings. With
I can see that.
the airtime, the laterals, and it's very well cared for. It
Mhm.
has some great views. Actually, if you look across the lake on a clear day, those windmills you see on the Canadian side, that's my home county where I grew up. So it's kind of
No
fun
kidding.
for me to ride it and look over and say, "Hey, there's home," literally.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah, that is really neat. That is really neat.
Yeah. It'll be
My biggest wish with Ravine Flyer, I would just love to ride that ride once with Millennium Flyer trains, just once. Like, just
sure.
send me once in brand new Millennium Flyer trains. We don't even need to test them. If I get hurt, I get hurt. So what? Let's go. It would be an awesome ride. I think that it would actually elevate it and make it a true contender for a top 10 elite in the world roller coaster if it got Millennium Flyers. But I don't know. I don't think it'll ever happen. They love those PTC trains there.
Yeah, Phoenix is great, but like if you go there for Phoenix Fall Fun Fest, the coaster event on the first Saturday or first weekend in October, there's something about that event where it's just running like phenomenally well. And so like if I can ride it every time during that event at night, then I can see it being the best coaster, the best wood coaster, because it runs at a different level. I don't know if they grease the track more or what they do, but it's something. But then I've gone and rode it when it wasn't Fall Fun Fest, and it's like it's good, but it's not like, oh my gosh, like insane. Yeah, I think there's definitely other wooden coasters out there that deserve it, like El Toro, Voyage, Boulder Dash, Thunderhead. I love Thunderhead, especially what Dollywood's done with it this year. I love it. You know, and some can argue maybe Hurler at Carowinds is better than Phoenix. I'm just joking.
Yeah, I don't think any of us would argue that.
No.
Good old Hurler.
You find anyone, let me know.
I know, right?
Yeah, that's phenomenal. Now, as far as food and beverage in the U.S., at least, I kind of have a feeling that the Hershey parks kind of have the upper hand in that category. And I mean, that's, in my opinion, that is an award for either Knott's Berry Farm to lose or Dollywood or Silver Dollar City. One of those 3 places will end up getting the food and beverage thing this year. I would guess. They're always so good, and it seems like every few years they rotate and win. So beyond that, I don't know. I mean, like Cedar Point and Kings Dominion, Kings Island, their food services really went up. I mean, it is really good. Especially some of like the home style restaurants. I guess I'll use it. Do you know what I'm referring to? Like the ones that actually
Yeah,
have
like
the
farmhouse at the back of the park was really
thank
good. The
yes,
pavilion that just
farm.
opened a couple years ago, amazing.
Yeah, those are pleasant dining experiences for an amusement park, at least.
But can they beat out Silver Dollar City and all those skillets, all the buffets, I mean, that you go there to get fat. Like you go there, forget the coasters. They're like an afterthought. And I never experienced it that way until I went with my buddy Matt a couple years ago. We went to the bakery. We got a giant pretzel and all the cinnamon rolls and everything else. It's like, oh my God.
My jam is one of those cinnamon rolls, and Silver Dollar City is the only chain or the only park in the chain that offers homemade apple butter with the cinnamon roll. So you can get icing, which all the parks offer, or an exclusive to Silver Dollar City is their homemade apple butter. So, I mean, are you guys apple butter fans by chance? I mean,
I still have some in my fridge from my last visit.
Yeah. Oh, you bought some there.
I did, yeah.
Yeah, so good. So good. So yeah, that's my jam and I'm a diabetic, but screw it. That day, if I go down, At least I'm going out in a place that's very happy,
It really to chime in too. What's to say the Epic Universe might not be in consideration because with all these amazing looking restaurants, so the theme for the restaurants.
Yeah, no, that's a great point. I think there's a lot of awards
that right next around the water. Can't think of the name right now, but it looked phenomenal. It's gonna be a full service restaurant, probably pretty pricey, but man, that there plus all the cool food options within each portal. I think they'll definitely probably be the best park in Florida food wise. They outside of like the food events like Food and Wine, but I think it'll be up there. It could be up there. Who knows?
Well, yeah, because I mean, like you said, like the themes, you got to factor those in. But it looks like they do have some interesting things coming to that park. And Universal food always surprises me. Like it's not what I immediately think of when I think of good food in Florida. But my last few visits have been really good. And I mean, the service is nice too. Because what Universal does is that you go to your table and you can scan a little QR code and order your food right there. So you're not waiting in lines. They bring it out to you, so it's pretty stress-free as well when you go to dine.
It's really convenient. I wish more parks would do that personally. We have better technology, but I lived in Florida from 2008 to 2014, and back then, Universal had the worst food out of all the parks there. Like,
oh really?
Food. I'd always go to City Walk to eat, but then over the last couple of years, so what Parker was saying, the food got much better and more, and honestly, it's better than SeaWorld food nowadays. Like usually,
yeah, I would agree.
Really stepped it up with their food, and I think it's just all part of the plan to really just make sure Epic Universe is just create the overall destination for that company and that chain in Orlando with the food, rides, themed attractions, the experience, everything about it is top notch.
Yeah, so I mean, realistically, we may see like half of these awards go to Epic Universe this year. I mean, it's as discouraging as it may be for other parks, it may be extremely warranted. And if they've earned it, you gotta give it to them. If you earn it, you earn it.
Best dark ride, best new coaster, best new ride, best show.
Coaster, I think we'll go to the one in the How to Train Your Dragon area.
Yeah, there's so many cool things with
that Stardust Racers or Starfall Racers, whatever legally they have to name it now. That is going to be phenomenal. I can't wait to ride another bigger mock in America. I think that we are extremely mock starved, and Copperhead was that was a tease, and I love Copperhead. It's in my top 50, easily, and I am very excited for more mock products. It doesn't even matter what they are, because it seems like every model that they put out in the last few years has pretty much been a home run. Even dating back to the spinner stuff, and now the striker coasters. I mean, I hope we get more, but this is a damn good start.
Yeah,
especially with the racing and the dueling aspect of it.
Yeah. Any racing coaster, I'm a complete sucker for. Being a Kennywood grow up, I feel like every park should have a roller coaster that races. It's what they did in Pittsburgh. Even our defunct amusement park had an Edward Vettel racing wooden roller coaster, which there's some great history to that, and to that entire Westview Park area. A lot of stuff from Kennywood actually ended up coming from dual ownership. So there's a lot of interesting history to racing wooden roller coasters and Mobius builds in America, and all of them kind of lead back to the Vettel family that came out of Sandusky, Ohio.
Nice.
So,
That's great.
yeah, it's an interesting little story. But Parker, the parks that you plan on going to next year, which park are you most excited and most anticipating for 2025 personally?
That's a good question. Probably Kings Island, or not Kings Island, Kings Dominion and Busch Gardens Williamsburg, because I've been to Kings Dominion before, but like I said before, not Busch Gardens. So I'm excited for both of those parks, especially with like Kings Dominion getting Rapterra and seeing more of the Jungle Expedition fleshed out. So
Yeah, well, when you make your pilgrimage down to Virginia, definitely make sure to hit me up. We practically live in Virginia 2 months out of the year. If you split up all the days, all the times that we're down at Kings Dominion and Williamsburg, so that would be a blast. If you've never been there, man, I can't wait to get your first reaction from Pantheon. It is a completely different experience for the coaster market here.
yeah, I'm really looking forward to that.
Brandon, what do you think of the idea of more swing launch Intamans coming to America?
Please.
You have
I would do anything.
Yeah. I mean, why are we not seeing this at this point? Is there a reason? Do we think that even, like Hershend, when's the last time that Hershend has bought an Intamin? Have they ever bought an Intamin roller coaster?
Yeah, I heard that there's some beef with Hershend and Intamin, therefore they haven't worked with them. I don't know where the beef started, but I'm over this whole bullshit. Sorry, BS about theme parks and these companies because, we as a people are the reason why these parks to stay afloat. We visit the parks. Now, obviously, one could argue, well, you can have Vekoma build you a really cool multi-launch coaster or B&M or this, but there's something about Intamin where it's different. Like, it's different. A Pantheon minus all the wonderful theming and all the trees around it is a really great ride. And I just feel like if you look at the bigger parks in the country, most of them are Six Flags. At the time, they didn't have the money to spend $15-20 million on a intimate, what's it called, swing launch coaster. And then Cedar Fair had their nose stuck up their butts about it. Well, we're not going to work with Intamin due to all the stuff happened 10 years ago or over 10 years ago now. And then you have, what's it called? Then SeaWorld parks. Okay. Yeah. SeaWorld is really building a lot of Intamins. Universal parks are building a lot of Intamins. I mean, just look at Fast and Furious at Hollywood.
Yeah.
That thing looks phenomenal. So
yeah, and whatever they're going to replace Rip Ride Rocket with is presumably, I would think, going to be an Intamin.
It's a very good shot. I mean, I think at the end of the day, that's the biggest reason why is these companies have, for whatever reason it is, it might be warrant, good reasons, but we all know Intamin's not horrible to work with because they sell so many coasters, right? And they've been around so long. Whereas like RMC, I love RMC coasters, but they are not easy to work with. The parks do not like working with RMC, and it kind of shows because their numbers of per coaster per year they're adding is dwindling. It's just unfortunate. So I just feel like Intamin should be higher on the tier of what these parks should build, and hopefully down the road we'll see something from the new Six Flags because now that Six Flags, the legacy Six Flags, already worked with Intamin for Georgia Surfer, their Intamin water launch coaster thing, shuttle coaster. Hopefully it does well for the park to know, okay, yeah, let's have a relationship with Intamin again.
Yeah, and I mean, for whatever issues these parks might have had in the past, these manufacturers are constantly evolving, they're changing, they're
Correct.
improving their technology, bringing in new products. So, like, why not give them another chance, especially if it's been 10 or 15 years or whatever since the last time they've worked with that manufacturer? Like,
And to your point too, evolving is a fantastic word because both companies are evolving, right? Six
mhm,
Flags now, Cedar Fair and Six Flags. Intimate officials, guess what? A lot of them aren't there anymore. The people
Right.
that were in charge or designing the rides 15 years ago, not everyone's there. Everything's evolving. So you have new blood in there.
Yeah,
New
20% of those people from Intamin are probably at Zamperla, and they were
exactly.
working. There's a lot of switchover. You're
So
100% dead on.
it is ridiculous how we can't have more Intamins from Six Flags, but it's not just Intamin that's on their crap list. It's RMC. It's a few other ones too, and it's just like,
Gerslauer, unfortunately. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I I really want a great, or maybe two different great Gerslauer tower coasters here. They have some great rides over in Europe, with this tower coaster concept, with the enclosure and 200 feet and 200 feet plus. Those look sick. I would love to have those here. The other one that drives me nuts is Zero. Zero. You look at Verbolten, what they did on Verbolten. How did they not get more business off of that ride?
over Bolton Zaire, I believe.
Yeah, yeah, so Zero.
Oh,
Yeah,
zero. Okay, yeah, okay, okay. I thought we were talking about Chris Lau. I'm sorry.
that we were, and then I jumped in and said the
All
other
right.
one that drives me nuts is Zero.
Oh,
We should see more of those.
I
No,
apologize.
it's tough to hear sometimes, but the I know that you're a fan of Impulse.
yeah, I
At
was going to say Impulse is great, very similar to those Gerstlauer coasters, but
Yep,
still a solid ride.
absolutely, and it saved Knoebels a couple $1 million. So
Mhm.
nothing wrong with that. But they delivered such a high quality product with Revolton.
I mean, even their
That
Tivolis are fun, like just having those long, crazy trains.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they are.
e- hopefully they don't just derail. Six like Great Adventure, but um, you know, at least if it does fail, there's absolutely no way that maintenance would accidentally send two trains up the Joker just 7 days later. That could never happen in the same park that they just announced the removal of like 7 rides. They would never make that mistake, right?
Who knows?
Yeah, guess we were wrong. They made that mistake. So
Yep.
yeah, I mean, Joker now, depending on how many trains they had for that, I'm not even 100% sure how long that is going to take to fix. I don't even know how they're going to end up getting both of those trains off based on how they are attached to those lever harnesses. So I just, there are moments where you're like, how many bad decisions can you guys make like in 1 week? Um, I don't know. That's really big negligence to do that to probably a $7-8 million roller coaster. Um, so I'm assuming that a couple people lost their jobs. You never like to see that, but obviously this was not good. But
Or maybe not because some people already lost their jobs because Kingda Ka closed down. So they might have limited amount of staff. I don't know. I'm just saying.
well, yeah, yeah. The night that I was there, I was asking each of them. This was the Thursday before it ended up closing, and I am hanging out with the ride crew like first thing in the morning. And I said, so did they at least give you guys like a choice? Do you get to like go to another ride, another roller coaster? And they're like, well, we can put requests in and it's going to be based off seniority. But if they end up sticking me, and then they named like 3 or 4 different rides, if they put me, I'm just leaving. I'm quitting. So, yeah, they'll be fine. They'll figure it out eventually. A good management team in that park will get that place turned around. They have a tremendous opportunity to seize a great market with Washington, D.C., Baltimore, New York City, Philadelphia, Trenton, New Jersey, et
Yeah.
cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, they have an unbelievable opportunity. And ultimately, if they don't figure it out, the company itself is probably going to go bankrupt because they are going to invest so much money into this thing that if it does fail, the whole thing is burned.
I mean, there's no reason why that park cannot get 6 or 7 million people a year based on
couldn't agree more.
within 2 hours away. And having the extended season as well. I think it opens up in March all the way to December. I mean, come on now.
Yeah, it's and it does have the potential to be a great park. There are still great rides there.
Oh, yeah, it's a great park
And it's a beautiful park too, with some good themed areas. So like the bones are there. They just need to I mean, it's mostly the management, I think, that just needs to be improved.
I think Great Adventure needed Cedar Fair.
Yeah.
I agree.
Get to the next level, get an on-site hotel there, make it more resort feel, get better restaurants, better quality rides overall, have more of a theme to it. Like if they could do what they've done at Kings Island or even like Cedar Point, obviously, or Canada's Wonderland, even, for the next 5 years, then they're really in for a good. Yeah, I will miss Keen to Ka, don't get me wrong, but I think it'll do well for the park.
Yeah, and I mean, this 2026 coaster, I'm so optimistic for it. Like, I don't think they'd be removing Ka if they didn't have a good plan in place.
Yeah.
At least I hope not.
I hope not.
Do you think that there is any possible scenario where Cedar Point pulls off getting Dragster running on opening day and pulls off getting Siren's Curse running on opening day, and they end up winning Park of the Year? Do you think if they get both projects complete and operating for a full season from opening day, so, and I mean, obviously you're going to have downtime, you're going to have closures a week here, a week there, but for the most part, if they pull that off, do they just get a pass? Because I got to be honest, it would be pretty damn impressive because nobody thinks they can do it.
That would be great. I don't know if they'd get Park of the Year though. Still, like I feel like the parks that
I don't either, but I think it's worth asking.
More family offerings, but I mean, it would be great if it happened.
Yeah, I think knowing what's at stake, it would deserve to be Park of the Year. Because if Top Thrill 2 flops this year, guys, it's not looking good.
Yeah, it's bad. It's all bad.
It is there's so much wrong with this ride, it's not even funny. I'm allowed to say certain things, I'm not allowed to say certain things, but it's not funny. Let's just say that. But with that being said, I think they could definitely have a chance, but I think there's other parks out there. I would rather have it like be a Cedar Point in that scenario than like Carowinds just because they're hosting, right? Like, well, they're hosting, let's give them Park of the Year. It's like, wait, Carowinds has sucked the last year and a half, operations wise, stuff being closed due to staffing and all this other BS, and yet you're, no. But back to like the best new ride in the awards, I think honestly, Parker, Alpine Fury has a shot.
Thank you. I mean, I was thinking that too, and I thought I was maybe just being biased because it's my home park.
That's a kick. That layout's awesome. Capacity is gonna suck.
Yeah, but it's gonna be really rough.
I think they have a good idea of how to make it operate, so it's not gonna be too bad. I mean, you got to think it doesn't have to go through a lift hill like Behemoth and Python and all those, so it has a pretty short total run time, so it's gonna get back to the station relatively quickly. So I think they can get those trains going pretty well. But yeah, I mean, the layout looks great. It looks pretty innovative how it's going to go through the mountain. It is there's going to be fire effects, so there's going to be those little extra touches that put the ride over the top beyond the actual layout
whole experience.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely has a chance to win. Rapterra, I think, has an outside chance to win. I don't think it will, but I think it has an outside shot if it ends up being really, really good. But at a minimum, I think it would have to be better than Thunderbird, right?
Yeah.
You can't. If it's not better than Thunderbird, then I think that conversation should be over. Yeah. But I'm hoping that it will. I have high hopes that they put in a good layout, a good ride, and that everybody will be pleased with it.
I mean, it looks promising. Like I think I mean, it's hard to say until we actually get on it and see what the final speeds are like. But I think it has a shot at beating out Thunderbird.
Yeah, I do too. I mean, they did another one of these, like it's 1 foot taller, 2 feet taller, something like that. a very negligible difference just to break the record. But that if Alpen Fury does not win, then I think a lot has to do with Top Thrill 2 because last year I don't think they're counting it as the rookie season because it only operated for like a week. So I think it's a new attraction if it opens this year for the full year, and I don't see how you can't give that right if it opens, if it runs. That has to win.
That's a good point. Because that would have definitely won this year if it was
Yeah.
operation.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
No
and it's
doubt.
great, right? I love it.
What are your thoughts on them recessing the seats and taking away the stadium seating on the trains?
It sucks obviously because of the view, aspect of it, but I get why they're doing it. As long as it doesn't affect the airtime on the top hat,
Yeah.
I'm cool with that. I'll ride either the front or the back row. And like any other coaster in the back row, usually they're not stadium style anyway. So
Yeah.
it is what it is. That was really cool though on the spike, being able to look over the seat in front of you to see down more. So that is unfortunate. So it sucks, but in the end, I hope that Zamperla and people will always say, "Oh, you hate Zamperla." No, I love the ride. My review of it said Zamperla. I'm an Intamin boy. I wish it was Intamin, but Zamperla, you knocked out of the park. I love it. I'm glad it's Zamperla, not Intamin, but it has to stay open. That's my problem, right?
Amen.
It's a great
Amen.
ride, but it has to be in operation. It has to stay in operation. It's not, and it's just unfortunate. It makes you wonder, well, what if? What if Intamin was doing? What if Mock Rides or Zamp or Vacom or whoever else put the bid on? So it's just unfortunate. But those trains are phenomenally comfortable, and the ride experience is really good as well. And it'll be interesting to see what the new Six Flags has in store for all parks, but especially Cedar Point, Canada's Wonderland, and Carowinds, the parks closest to us.
Yeah, that is. It's going to make for a very interesting season, and I think a competitive Golden Ticket Awards for 2025, which is cool. I think it is better for the community and for the industry when there's more people that are being competitive instead of things just being a guaranteed lock. And I think the only way that they're going to get that year in and year out is if they too are willing to adjust. The same thing that Parker was talking about earlier, the willingness to adapt. I think the Golden Ticket Awards need to have a willingness to adapt, and they need to start to award the rides and the parks that truly deserve that extra little bump, because they may not realize it, but just that Golden Ticket Award, to be able to put that plaque outside of the ride, it makes a difference for how people perceive that experience, and it makes a difference for people who want to come back. It helps people become storytellers, because if you just rode a wooden roller coaster, it's okay, great, fantastic story. But if you rode the first wooden roller coaster ever built in Missouri, that is, and you just go down the diatribe and the laundry list on these, these ace plaques for historical landmarks or whatever, but there should definitely be recognition for these other parks that do a great job that, they just kind of get left out, especially in the roller coaster category, because, Phoenix, it is fun. Those buzz bars are awesome. The airtime, it's really cool. But Brandon, I kind of lean towards you. I mean, I think that Thunderhead has a legit argument for the best wooden roller coaster in the U.S. Probably the Voyage would have something to say about that, and those two would probably keep me very entertained all night until I made a decision. But I don't think it's Phoenix.
But something we have to keep in mind too, guys, is this is the same. And I'm not knocking the Golden Ticket Awards, and we all know that it's not the most credible source of like rankings.
Agreed.
There's no reason how Millennium Force was the best steel coaster for X amount of years. Same as Fury 325, same as Phoenix.
Superman.
I love Superman at New England. That was always better than Millennium, but then they got the trains and the rattle. It's just ugh. But hopefully,
Ubrick restraints.
But it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, I completely agree. Parker, do you have anything in particular that you're working on right now, either for your channel, for your community, or making plans for next season? Anything that you would like your fans and my fans and Brandon's fans to know about?
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm kind of taking a break right now just to enjoy the holiday season. But once the new year starts up, I have a bunch of vlogs that I filmed over the summer from California, and I'm finally going to be putting those out. And oh my gosh, I mean, even just the first one alone from California's Great America, I have over 2 hours of footage to go through. So these are going to be pretty
Awesome.
detailed and
It takes
pretty
time, doesn't it?
extensive. But yeah, I'm
Well,
really excited to put those out.
that's really cool and probably of interest to me and Brandon because I think that is one of the only parks that both he and I have not been to.
Oh,
Um,
really? Yeah.
yeah, it
Okay.
is very rare to find a park that one of us have, let alone one that neither of us have ever been to. So that is on my bucket list for this upcoming season is hit those two NoCal parks and Knockout Lagoon and Silverwood. That is my 2025 plans.
Yeah,
So
I gotta.
we shall see.
I have to increase my credit count, so I need to get Northern California parks because we don't know how long Discovery Kingdom or Great America will be there. Like
That's
Right.
why it's a priority for me.
everything's up in question. So it's like I was thinking about that today. Actually, I'm like, I should try to get out there this year. I'm going to do Southern California next year for Hollywood and Magic Mountains New Coaster.
Yeah,
But the Northern California parks, even though I'm not like they're good parks, and I've been on, Wonder Woman just like Railblazer.
right.
Nothing. I'll be more excited about like Gold Striker, uh,
Yes.
and Discovery Kingdom,
That is
Medusa.
the prized credit for me for
Yeah,
that and Joker. If I
yeah,
can get those two credits, and then by some luck, grace of God, they decide, hey, you know what, we're gonna open Flash Vertical Velocity today. That literally, I would probably just drop to my knees, cry for a couple minutes, and then say, thank you. Uh, but yeah, I mean, you hit the nail on the head, man. Gold Striker, that is the reason to go up there.
It's a
And
great ride. One of my favorite GCIs.
yeah. That's great.
I'm very much looking forward to getting on that ride. I can't wait. Brandon, are you working on anything currently? I know you have a lot of things going on here that you're going to be producing and putting out at the end of the year. I also want to let you know and give you a little bit of feedback that I got an opportunity to sit down and watch that top 25 list. I thought it was awesome. I appreciate very much your passion for Iron Gwazi. It may not be number one for me, but it's damn close. It is damn close.
My
That is
my
a great
motto,
ride.
my motto in life is you are allowed to have difference of opinions on things. I will still love you and respect you the moment until you don't love and respect me, right? And I love Iron Gwazi, and it's to me it's the perfect coaster. But
It is damn close. I love that thing. I really do. It's next level.
I'm working on. Let's see here. I'm gonna have to build us a new mud closet room thing in the house. I need to go out and I need to clean up the backyard. I need to build our closet. Oh, you're talking about YouTube stuff. Oh, I'm talking about my honeydew list. All right.
We don't even want to get started on that. Mine is still dating back to 23. I think. I don't.
So January is typically a very slow revenue month for YouTube. It's all in all businesses really because all the advertisers pay up really good in Christmas time for the last rush of the 20 that year. Then the first of the year they kind of recount their budgets and kind of pump the brakes. So revenue wise, I don't know if you've noticed that, Parker, for your channel or not. Be happy to talk to you more off of this if you want. But yeah, January, be prepared for like a little dip in revenue. You just typically don't get paid as much per 1,000 views as you would in December, November, October, and so forth. But February it picks up a little bit. So I've strategically have kind of mastered this now, knowing in my budget of okay, this is my full-time job, so I have to make sure I'm the numbers guy. So I have a lot of stuff I'm working on to make sure that I can combat that and to have the basically projected revenue meet what I'm actually going to be making to make the wife happy, and so we can actually, enjoy our life together as a family and do things and everything else. So I have a lot of different. I'm working more on attraction guides. I'm coming up with the Epic Universe attraction guide, a Six Flags Qiddiya attraction guide, like breaking down all the different rides there, the height requirements of both those parks, and then start rolling out some of my more theme park guides soon. I'm gonna have to get with Adventures with Parker and Quentin for my updated Canada's Wonderland guide video. I'll be out there once what's it called, Alpha Fury opens up, and then once I send a picture to Clay Parker as a in front of it, say, hey, what's up, Clay? Peace out. How's Pennsylvania?
Pennsylvania is always great when your friend sends you pictures of roller coasters that you legally cannot ride.
Done. I will do that.
Yeah, that really is that's the ultimate flip off to a coaster enthusiast is, hey, you're not allowed to be here. This is awesome.
I love it.
That is the best. Parker, thank you, man, for stopping in and joining me and Brandon tonight. And
well, thanks for having me. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, man. I hope that I hope we didn't scare you off, and you'll come back and be a part of a couple panels in the future. I know that we also were supposed to have Ryan Sir on with us tonight, but Power Topics was recording themselves, so we kind of got some things crossed. And but yeah, we had a heck of a good time tonight. Great conversation. I think the one thing that I'm going to take away from what you said tonight is that desire to adapt. And it's so important, not just for parks, but for the management and even us as content creators, for us to be able to adapt. And as Brandon knows, that's a lot of the reason that I am doing this podcast, because in the last year, we have really realized that we are the media. The people are the media, not television. And it's important that we have a good, safe place for all content creators, whether they have 100 subscribers or they have 100,000 subscribers, to know that there are people that will take time to help them and answer questions when needed, and that there is a good place for discourse where we can all come together, we can all share our opinions, and like Brandon said, respect one another for our opinions for what they are and for the content of each content creator's character. And my goal and my dream is over the next year to be able to take this podcast and bring multiple channels together. And what that does is it is going to, intertwine viewership. And it's going to bring eyes to your channel, to Brandon's channel, to my channel, that people would typically never have found. But because, the roller coaster enthusiasts that they happen to like and watch is, on the 6-person panel, maybe they do tune in. And maybe they laugh at Brandon's bad jokes. And they're like, you know what?
Very possible.
That guy is pretty endearing. I really enjoy him and his love for Iron Gwazi. I'm going to hit the subscribe button.
We at least go there for the good looks. I mean, come on now.
Yeah, I didn't want to be too upfront. In today's day and age, you have to play coy a little bit, right, Parker?
I don't care at all, man.
But no, yeah, that is my goal with this platform, is for us to make it for all of us, because that really is what it's about, is making sure that all of us can be successful together. There's not competition. This is supposed to be a community. So let's treat it like one.
Amen to that.
Very good, man. Very good.
Yeah. Hey guys, thank you so much for tuning in. We appreciate you spending time with Brandon, Parker, and myself tonight. And until next time, all three of us, we'll see you out there.